It's that time of year when the sounds of play ball can be heard all across central Pennsylvania. Hello everyone, I'm Sean Coffey.
And I'm Kelly Byrne. The Little League World Series in South Williamsport is back after a year off due to the pandemic, and we are at Wmpst Stadium.
In the next half hour, we'll explore places to visit while in Lycoming County.
But first, our 28-22 sports director, AJ Donatoni, establishes the ground rules for this year's tournament.
For the first time in 2 years, the best teams across the Little League spectrum will converge on both Wmpst and Volunteer stadiums. It will be a welcome return for those who missed out on the experience last year, but things won't be completely back to normal this August. Earlier this year, the Little League International Pandemic Response Advisory Commission was established to look into the feasibility of holding the tournament amid COVID-19 concerns. Ultimately, the commission gave the go-ahead for the World Series, but just without the world. Only American teams will participate this year. According to Little League's website, quote, after carefully monitoring international travel restrictions, quarantine requirements, testing and vaccine availability, along with updates from Little League officials from many countries within our program, the Little League baseball and softball tournaments will feature only teams from the United States. As always, there are 8 regions within the U.S., and in years past, only regional champions would advance to the World Series along with 8 international teams. But to keep the field at 16 total, now the top 2 in each region will make it to South Williamsport. The 16 teams will be divided into 2 pools, one named for Hank Aaron and the other for Tom Seaver. In the Aaron division, champions of the West, Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northwest regions will face the runners-up from New England, Mid-Atlantic, Southeast, and Southwest regions. And in the Seaver division, it will be the opposite. The format is double elimination until there are 2 teams remaining in each pool. From there, it's single elimination for the Aaron and Seaver finals, followed by a single World Series championship game. We also missed out on the annual MLB Little League Classic last year, a tradition that began in 2017 to bring a Major League Baseball game to historic Bowman Field in Williamsport. The Red Sox and Orioles were supposed to play in 2020, but when the World Series was canceled, so was the Little League Classic. However, the game returns this year and will bring Hazleton native Joe Madden back to central Pennsylvania. His Los Angeles Angels will take on the Cleveland Indians on Sunday, August 22nd. It will be the 4th edition of the game. There are additional details on Little League's website with regard to policies on testing, masks, social distancing, vaccinations, and spectators. But as it pertains to actual baseball, it's just a comfort to know that we'll once again be able to see the best Little Leaguers around go head-to-head for the glory of becoming World Series champion. AJ Donatoni, 28-22, Eyewitness Sports.
A major part of the economy in Williamsport is tourism. The quaint city features both historic and present-day activities for everyone to enjoy.
WBRE 28, WYOU 22 Eyewitness News reporter Jasmine Allen gives us a visitor's guide of a few places to explore in Williamsport.
For those who don't know, Williamsport has been around since the early 1800s. It was once the lumber capital of the world and home to the most millionaires per capita in the entire country. The first stop is here in the city's historic district called Millionaires Row, where many Victorian-styled homes from the late 19th century still stand today.
The historic district has all of the mansions. It's great because there's 2 museums in the historic district. We have the Raleigh House Museum and the Tabor Museum.
There's also a bed and breakfast, restaurants, a coffee house, and a trolley tour.
It's $2 a ride, and it's an hour and a half long tour that gives you the history of Williamsport and the lumber history.
Many homes are now residential, but once a year they open their doors to the public.
In November for Victorian Christmas, where a lot of the homes that are typically closed because they're still public or private homes, they're open for tours. So that's usually the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Just down the road, also on 4th Street, is the city's collegiate summer baseball team called the Williamsport Crosscutters.
This is strictly summer short season baseball. We begin in late May and end in the middle of August.
Even if you're not the biggest baseball fan, there's still plenty to enjoy at a game.
Trivia questions and crazy races on the field and stuff with our mascot Boomers.
The franchise has been here since the mid-90s and they earned the name Crosscutters in '99. But professional and minor league baseball have been in the city since the late 1800s.
It's an incredible history that is here in the area, and especially here at historic Bowman Field, one of the oldest stadiums operating in the United States.
Over 600 players from teams here in Williamsport have advanced to Major League Baseball. They're also a part of the MLB Draft League, where some of the best college and high school senior players have a shot at going pro. Those are just some of the fun activities to do when visiting the city. To learn more, head over to our website, pahomepage.com. In Williamsport, Jasmine Allen, 2822 Eyewitness News.
If you're interested in learning more about the history of Williamsport and Lycoming County, the Thomas T. Tabor Museum is a great place to explore.
The museum features the many businesses and industries that were born in the region. You can walk through time, but there is one area the museum leaders are very proud of, the Wmpst Model Train Collection. In the collection, there are more than 2,000 pieces, 100 individual locomotives, and 347 complete train sets, and many are rare and prototype models. Well, coming up, we're heading to the Lycoming County Visitors Bureau. Also, the Queen of the Susquehanna River is welcoming guests for a unique ride down the river.
We'll take a ride down the river aboard the Hiawatha Paddle Wheel Riverboat when this edition of Williamsport Beyond Baseball returns.
Plus, we'll check out some of the businesses with worldwide reach that call Lycoming County home. She's known as the Queen of the Susquehanna. The Hiawatha Paddle Wheel Riverboat is one of the most popular attractions in central Pennsylvania.
The West Branch of the Susquehanna River in Williamsport is home to the Hiawatha, delighting tourists and locals alike for 40 seasons.
WVRE WYOU Eyewitness News reporter Joe Garrison is our guide on what we can expect to see and learn when we step aboard.
It's a boat from a bygone era, one you don't see every day unless you live near the Hiawatha Paddle Wheel Riverboat in Williamsport.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is Captain Mike. Welcome aboard the Hiawatha.
From May to October, you can cruise up and down part of the West Branch of the Susquehanna River.
Originally, the boat was built by the community, and the community backed it and fundraised for it. It's our 40th season.
Passengers will hear a history lesson along the way of how the river and the lumber industry helped build early America.
It's a good way to experience the valley, see the sights, learn about the history of the town, the industry, the role it played in our nation's history. It's really been a nice time.
Sometimes you think about the history of the land too, what it was like back in the day for some of these people that were, living in these mountains. It's beautiful.
The logging industry was a big employer back in the day. Pieces of that past can still be seen along the river.
Back in the 1800s, the logging industry, Williamsport was the lumber capital of the world, and the river played a big part of that because it had the Susquehanna boom, which was a 7-mile stretch of logs that they could contain and sort for the 15 sawmills that were here.
And the pay was considered good, as high as $2.50 a day.
This region was also part of the Underground Railroad. Land traveled by freedom fighters is now dotted by river lots, providing harbor for boats, both fast and slow. The natural beauty is all around. Valerie Miller of Mountaintop rode the Hiawatha as a child. She hopes her children hold on to the same memories.
It's awesome to have them experience the same experience I had, because I remember what a good time it was, and my brother and I have talked about it since our visit back in the late 90s.
In August, teams from the Little League World Series will often take a trip on the Hiawatha between their games.
Yeah, it was amazing to have the Little League teams here. We actually had them about 2 years ago, right before the COVID year, where we were able to have the team from North Africa come, and they were just super nice team. They loved the boat. They loved seeing all of Susquehanna. Just a great group of people.
The crew puts a passenger to work, helping to secure the Hiawatha to the dock at Susquehanna State Park.
Wow, can we get a round of applause?
Thank you for riding the Hiawatha today. If you have questions, please feel free to ask a member of the crew.
And I've always said I want to go on this river, and we just so happened to see this tour boat, and Dream come true, one of my things off my bucket list.
If you missed the early cruise, don't worry, your ship will come in. Just catch the next ride aboard the Hiawatha Paddle Wheel Riverboat in Williamsport. In Williamsport, Joe Garrison, 2822 Eyewitness News.
Lycoming County is also a great place to do business.
WBRE, WYOU Eyewitness News reporter Jasmine Allen introduces us to some of the businesses and industries that call the area home.
There's a lot more to Lycoming County than just Little League baseball. In fact, across the globe, many rely on the products made by the businesses in the county. Shop Vac in Williamsport dates back to the 50s. They created an innovative cleaning equipment that was the first of its kind.
The founder, Milton Miller, invented the wet-dry vacuum cleaner. It was the first time a vacuum had ever been water and vacuuming had been mixed together. So it's a long, strong heritage of innovation.
Every year, Shop Vac produces over 2 million vacuums that are distributed worldwide. The local operation employs 200 people and they're always hiring. Not far from there in Jersey Shore is West Pharmaceuticals, a company that made a big difference during the pandemic. They manufactured medical equipment called stoppers, which is the rubber lid on the COVID vaccines.
Every stopper has a name. So when it leaves this facility, it is going to a doctor's office, to a hospital, to a nursing home, to someone's in-home care network, and it is making a difference for that individual.
The Ralph S. Alberts Company, based in Montoursville, is a third-generation plastic fabrication business. You've probably seen their products at various amusement parks.
60% of our gross business involves we manufacture all of the seating and padding devices that go into thrill rides or roller coasters in the amusement park industry.
The other 40% is used to make products for medical simulations, automotive, and aviation. Last but not least is a young company established back in 2014. They make low-maintenance and sustainable bicycles.
Priority Bicycles is an online direct-to-consumer retail business. So it ships from this warehouse here in Montgomery, goes all over the world right from here. Everything comes from here.
All of these businesses have played a role in communities throughout America and parts of other countries. Although their reach is wide, much of their production has stayed right here in Lycoming County. Reporting in Lycoming County, Jasmine Allen, 2822 Eyewitness News.
We're taking a stroll down memory lane with a visit to the original site of the Little League World Series.
He did everything like the major leagues, including the sunken dugouts.
Up next, we'll learn more about the rich history of Little League and the major leaguers who watch it all become a reality. We are familiar with Lomedy and Volunteer stadiums for the Little League World Series games, but the original league started at a field on West 4th Street. Original League Inc. is now a historical landmark as well as an active site for children, both boys and girls, ages 5 to 12, to play organized baseball. WBRE, WYOU Eyewitness News photojournalist Joseph Butash takes us to the first, founded in the 30s.
Carl Stutz is the father of Little League Baseball. He developed it in the summer of 1938 while playing catch with his nephews, Major and Jimmy Guerin. Carl's daughter remembers.
He always played catch with his nephews. That's what the boys did in those days. That's the only sport they had. And of course we had Bowman Field.
Stutz wanted to replicate the major leagues in kids form.
The player selection that he designed, and that really ensured that the teams were equally balanced, which was very important to him. He did everything like the major leagues, including the sunken dugouts.
And I've umpired here for 53 years consecutive. And I was a friend of Carl's. Carl was a fantastic man. He was far, far ahead of his time in his thinking.
Carl's persona, Carl's history is here, and I've learned so much from multiple people, including Mr. Bill Fretz.
Carl's concept of an organized league started in 1939. Carl depended on his whole family and the business community to make it a success.
So yeah, it was a family affair for our family.
Contributions that people make with volunteerism go a long way. And that started with Carl.
And among the former major leaguers who have stopped by the field, Cy Young, 511 career victories, became friends with Carl, and I'm told would sit right here taking in the action.
Cy Young pitched out here in the 50s in a ceremonial opening game. And it's nice to tell people that because they'll say, well, Cy Young's an award. No, Cy Young was a person.
Carl was an honorary pallbearer at Cy's 1955 funeral.
In fact, I have Cy Young's cane, or the Carl Stutz archives have the last cane that he used because his other cane was given to Cooperstown. The thing I find as an adult quite astounding is my father was really around some of those very early ball players and very prestigious people. And yet we don't have autographs, we don't have pictures, because he was out working, getting the field ready for games.
Original League prides itself in upholding Carl's core values of youth baseball.
The sportsmanship, and that's a big thing. And we think we have a lot of good sports coming out of Original League.
To learn how Little League started, this is the best place to be.
I think it's fun and I think it's great. And his idea was that the boys got a chance to play ball.
At Original League in Lycoming County, Joseph Butesh, 2822, Eyewitness News.
The Carl E. Stotts Field, birthplace of Little League, is located on West 4th Street. There, the quaint museum is full of historical artifacts from when it was founded to the present.
And we have more information on the field on our website, pahomepage.com.
Now, there is a brand new facility aimed at keeping the Little Leaguers and staff healthy and safe.
UPMC North Central PA and Little League Baseball unveiled a brand new wellness center that will be used during the Little League World Series each year. Construction began last summer to replace the former Little League infirmary with a modern medical facility. It will serve as the medical hub for all players, coaches, and managers, and will be open around the clock.
You know, we have 16 teams now, 20 teams starting next year. So, you know, over, 200 some kids and coaches that from time to time need medical services, and this is the place that will provide that for them.
We're not out of the pandemic yet, so we have to be vigilant as we go through this cycle this summer in August and as we go into the fall. So we want to continue to be very careful. That having been said, a facility like this to assist in this kind of environment can't be overstated in terms of its value and its importance.
The center has all the features of a primary care facility staffed by UPMC medical professionals.
Well, up next, we will celebrate Lycoming County's most famous outlaw, Prince Farrington.
How his bootlegging legacy prompted a tour in his name that's helping the local economy. The Lycoming County Visitors Bureau created a unique way for the 21 and older crowd to learn about the region's history while supporting local businesses.
WBRE 28, WYOU 22 Eyewitness News reporter Jasmine Allen gives a toast to the history of prohibition in the county on the Prince Farrington's Bootlegger Tour.
Prince Farrington was Lycoming County's most notorious bootlegger. He was a good bootlegger, but he was kind of a bad bootlegger because he got busted a few times.
The year-long tour includes a passport for all locations. You present the passport and the owner will punch a hole in it. Once completed, it's redeemed for a special prize.
We have breweries in Wmpst, Jersey Shore. We have a distillery in Nippenose Valley. So it's pretty spread out, but it's a fun way to get a good taste of what's going on.
The tour also aims to help small businesses and promote local tourism, which was severely impacted by the pandemic.
I think doing something like the bootleg tour actually gives people an opportunity to see and highlight all the great things we have going on in Lycoming County and ultimately help pull some customers in and help with some tourism and some different things.
Co-owner of Nomad Distillery in Williamsport says it's refreshing to finally have normal activities after following COVID guidelines for so long.
It kind of brings you together a little bit more as a community. Like, we always believe in, a rising tide raises all ships. So, the more people come to this area, it helps everybody. So it's a win-win-win-win.
Reporting in Lycoming County, Jasmine Allen, 2822 Eyewitness News.
The passport can be redeemed at the Lycoming County Visitors Bureau.
For more on the participating locations, you can go to pahomepage.com. Well, as you know, the kickoff to the Little League World Series has always been the Grand Slam Parade.
And this year the parade was canceled due to the pandemic. So we looked back in our archives and we put together some special parade memories. And you can check them out on pahomepage.com. Well, thank you for joining us for Williamsport Beyond Baseball. Remember, you can find more information about the Little League World Series and Lycoming County on pahomepage.com. I'm Kelly Byrne.
And I'm Sean Coffey. We can't wait for the Little League World Series.